Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are looking at one of the larger vehicles in the world of Halo line. We are looking at the Mantis with the Spartan EVA. Alright, so to be honest, this is probably the gateway drug that got me into the world of Halo action figure line. I've been eyeing this at the store for a long time, ever since it came out. I have a thing for like bipedal mechs, stuff that looks like the ED-209 from RoboCop, the Officer's Battle Pod from Robotech, the Chicken Walker AT-ST from Star Wars. So anything that resembles this, like the Metal Gear, I'm always on board. There's something about the two-legged chicken walking mech that I don't know. I just think it's such a cool robot design, and the fact that this is in the world of Halo. I believe this debuted in the 4th Halo game. I think. I'm not 100% sure. It might have actually debuted in one of the novels first before the video game also. All right, so this looks great. Awesome image in the front. And they let you know one of the cool play features that you can actually fit a figure inside of the cockpit. That's awesome. On the side of the box, you kind of get an image of the toy. And on the back, kind of a full lineup of the figures currently available in this wave. There's the individual figures, there's the 2-packs, and then there's the other vehicles. I reviewed both of these already. I reviewed the Gun Goose, and I've also reviewed the Shade Turret. Both excellent. Alright, let's take this out. Really excited to get this thing up and running. Alright, so next to the Warthog, I think this might be the largest vehicle in the world of Halo line. Alright, first impressions after I've taken this out of the tray. I'm beyond impressed. This thing looks to be gigantic. I didn't expect it to be this large. For a size comparison, this feels to be about almost like the same size, if not maybe larger than the Star Wars Chicken Walker, the AT-ST. Yeah, this thing is enormous. Alright, I'm trying to remove the action figure right now. I'm trying to get the Spartan figure out. Alright, so just bear with me. These are very large pieces. It's hard to get this all under my camera. So here's the instruction manual. So essentially you just take the top of the figure and slap it onto the bottom half. Very self-explanatory. But before we do that, let's take a look at Spartan EVA. It's nice to always get a new Spartan figure. I like this armor a lot. It's a very cool looking Spartan unit. I love the helmet design. That's one of the things I really liked about some of the games like Halo Reach and ODST. I loved seeing all the unique armors that weren't necessarily like Master Chief and the Spartan armor, or at least the standard Spartan armor. Excellent figure, really clean details. Love the color scheme. You have the bright yellow gold visor over the dome of the helmet. There's like a lighter green harness over the chest. Kind of like a off-white kind of, I don't know, body armor on the arms, lower torso and the legs. Light green on the inside of the thighs. There's a knife on the chest, but I believe it's not removable. Comes with this awesome gun right here. Plug it into the back. I can't believe how large this thing is. I'm like looking at this thing out of the corner of my eye, and it's just gigantic. So you can plug the shotgun onto the Spartan's back, like so. Alright, let's set this aside and get to the main event. Alright, so the top half of the vehicle, of the Mantis, it's gigantic. It sounds kind of hollow, but I'm assuming so I can hold a figure. I don't know how to open up the cockpit. I'm kind of curious about that. Oh, okay. So there's a hatch here, as you can see. I'd be kind of cautious of this plastic tab here. It's like one of those things that I feel that as a child, like anything that kind of resembled this, eventually I'd break it. So just a word of caution with this tab. You know, you don't want to use too much excessive force when you remove or plug it back in. If you look here, there's a slight lip where you're going to lift this up. And I'd suggest as you lift it, you kind of depress it in just a little bit to kind of take off the stress from the tab so it doesn't break. The inside of the cockpit, from this angle, it's kind of bare minimum. You just kind of have the seat sculpted in. There's not really much in terms of like a control board. Although if you look, I'm not sure if the light's going to catch it, but towards the back, there's like a small like control panel at the foot of the canopy. There's two pairs of joysticks on the inside for, I guess, control of the vehicle. In terms of articulation for the appendages, looking underneath it, it looks like they rotate. I'm trying to see how this works. So they can rotate going in and out, and then they can rotate going up and down. It's a very, very tight joint. So just exercise some caution in moving it. In terms of the arms on each weapon, they rotate, as you can see here, and then there's an additional joint here, so like a fold, I believe. Folds. Am I doing this right? Okay, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. Crap. Alright, there's a part of me that thinks this might be misassembled. I hope that's not the case here. Shoot. Or I'm just doing this wrong. Alright, so yeah, these are very tight joints. I'd suggest use some care in moving these joints because they are very tight. No exaggeration there. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I can't get the pose I want to get. I'm looking at the box right now, and I'm trying to figure out how they got the arms in certain positions. Alright, so I got that. Does this rotate? Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm getting the arms in the right in the positions they're supposed to be in. It's kind of weird. Like I don't know which way is front and which way is back with the arms. Is it this way? No, that's not right. All right, so move this. It's a weird. It's almost like a weird puzzle trying to figure this out. All right, so let's rotate. Yeah, my biggest fear is just breaking this because, like I said, these joints are really stiff. You don't want to rotate all that like willingly. And I think that's right. Alright, it doesn't help that these instructions are in black and white and they're really hard to read. So you want the arms to be down just a little bit. I'm kind of unsure of what can rotate and what can't. Like, there's certain positions that I'm looking at this over here and stuff that looks like it should rotate isn't. And like I said, I don't want to accidentally break anything here. Because the plastic, it doesn't feel like a very durable plastic. It feels like at any minute something could actually just like snap off. This is like one of those toys I can imagine if you're like a child like between the ages of like 6 and 9. You know, this thing might not survive the first day you're playing with it. So what I'm kind of curious, I'm having issues with is that I'm wondering if this wrist here rotates. Because on the instructions here, they have the arms tilted at a slight angle. And then the wrist looks like they're rotated so it levels off, so it's flat, but I can't recreate that pose. So I don't know if this is articulated or not, or if it's just glued. So yeah, I don't want to force it. I'm just gonna have to live with it in this certain pose. But yeah, there's something about this. I mean, it looks awesome, don't get me wrong, but the minute you handle it, these just feel so tight and they don't want it. It's like there's no give. It's like it wants to fight you every time you move it. All right, let's take a look at the legs. Now, this thing is very tall. This is not going to fit underneath my camera. I don't know how. All right, so I had enough issues with trying to figure out the top. This one's going to make me crazy also. All right, I think the way this works is, all right, these rotate. Like I said, this thing is gigantic. This is like the size of the AT-ST in the Star Wars toy line, if not bigger. All right. Yeah, this is a crazy toy, but man, I feel so uncomfortable handling it. And nothing seems to like line up flush and straight. Everything seems like it's bent at weird angles. Like I don't know why his legs aren't straight up and down. It's just This is kind of frustrating right now. Like, I don't know if this guy will even stand. Alright, so even though his legs look like they're splayed out and he's kind of like bow-legged, the feet look like they're on a correct angle so that they're going to be level with the floor. So regardless of his legs, even though they're not straight up and down, even though they're kind of cut out like at an angle like this, at least it looks like his feet are leveled off. So they're going to be flat with the ground. And right now it is standing. But I feel very uncomfortable with this just because the way everything's attached and at all these unusual angles, it feels very unnatural, because I think instinctively, like if you look at the thighs, they're kind of at a V like this. I think instinctively, you know, as someone who's always like handled toys and action figures, I think you naturally just want to make sure everything's flat and level, but that's not the case here. You know, the way the axle is adjusted and attached to the thigh here, it's meant to be an angle like that. And then they correct for that at the feet, where the feet are going to be level. So then you take this, snap it on top. Snap it on top. And wow, you get this crazy, crazy walker. I can't stand this underneath my camera. It's too tall. But we can look at it like this. Hopefully my camera will focus on it. Yeah, so this is the front view of it. Very impressive, and you can adjust the height by just, you know, how you adjust the legs. It's crazy. Here's a view from the side. It's like I said, this thing's gigantic. I can't fit this under my camera whatsoever. So your best bet is, you know, after you're done watching this, jump onto YouTube and just hunt down another review. I'm sure you'll find someone that could do this review proper justice. I just can't fit this under my camera. It's gigantic. The detail's amazing. Yeah, man, this thing's huge. For the price point, this is definitely worth the money. Just a word of caution. This is a toy I probably wouldn't recommend for younger children, just because it feels like I said, this is the kind of toy, it feels like if a younger child like held this and handled it, it'd probably be broken by it'd be broken by the end of the day. All right, I'm just kind of like, I'm like losing my voice right now. I kind of shot like 11 videos in the past few hours, so I'm losing my voice. It's like my voice is shot. Detail wise, he has a cool chain gun on the right arm. And there's the belt feed. On the opposite arm, it's kind of like the rocket blasters. You have headlights in the front. The one thing this is kind of missing, I kind of feel like it needs a better paint application, or it needs a paint application. You know, like 95% of this is just entirely all the plastic. You know, the graphics here are kind of like tampoed and screened on, but otherwise it's just completely a bare plastic look, with some painted details on it. Yeah, crazy detailed. The legs are amazing. Here's the foot. Like I said, I can't stress this enough. This thing is enormous. Like if I now in the state I have it in, if you were to measure it, this guy could easily stand well over 12 inches. So you're looking at a very gigantic toy. Like the play feature mentioned, you can open up the cockpit. Let's do that now. And then you can fit the pilot inside, so we could get the Spartan unit inside of them. Just like that. Fits like a glove, and you can close it. And then also there's foot pegs on the top, on the roof. So if you want to, I don't know, put an additional Spartan or Marine on top, you could. Yeah, very impressed. The articulation, it feels kind of spotty. The joints are super tight. I would refrain from getting too nuts with this. Like I kind of feel like once you got it in the pose you like, just leave it alone. You know, it does twist at the waist. It's really tight. Every joint on here is just super tight. So yeah, this word of caution, just be careful handling this. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I'm losing my voice here, and let's just kind of wrap this up. Let's get them back into focus first. All right, get into focus. Come on, will you focus? All right, my camera does not want to focus on this guy. All right, let's reset this. Get the figure back here. All right, figure's back in focus. And this is back in focus. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how would I rate this? In terms of my first impression, an easy 10. I think when you first see this thing, the size of it, the detail, and the enormity of what you're handling is insane. So I easily give this thing, in terms of your first impression, it's going to be a 10. I think the big fault is when you start handling it. Like I said enough, I can't stress it enough. The articulation, everything it seems like that needs to articulate is there, but it's kind of hard to interpret how to move things and where to move things. It's kind of hard to figure out what angle you want to adjust things. And on top of that, the joints are just super tight. And when you couple that with this quality of plastic, it feels like it's just like a possible disaster in the making. Because the tolerances are just so tight that every time you move something, it's not moving willingly. And I can understand that. Because for a toy this size and its weight, you want really tight joints so it could stand up. But at the same time, as someone that wants to pose it and handle it and do all the cool poses you see on the box, it's very frustrating trying to get it in those poses. So in terms of the articulation, for me, my first thought is a 6. The articulation is kind of confusing to figure out. All the joints are super tight. But as a display piece, I think this thing's a winner. You put this in the middle of your Halo collection and it's immediately going to draw eyes. It's wonderful to look at. It's very, very imposing. It's detailed. It's one of those things where I want more of the same. I want more larger vehicles in this toy line. And I think this is a great starting point. If you have the Warthog, if you have the Gun Goose, if you have the Mongoose, if you have the Ghost, if you have the Shade Turret, you really need to cap off your vehicle collection with this. This is really the grand centerpiece of the World of Halo line right now. Okay, so before we close this out, I just want to do a quick video to demonstrate how large the Mantis is. For a size comparison, on the left you can see we have a Spartan Collection Master Chief, and that's a 6-inch figure. Next to it we have the Spartan EVA that comes with the Mantis, and in the foreground we have the Warthog. As you can see, the Mantis is gigantic. It's wonderfully large, highly detailed. I still stand by the fact that the articulation could use some work. The tolerances seem very tight. But at the same time, I'm kind of curious if, over time, if the joints will loosen up. I would have preferred it if the joints were ratcheted, but they're not. But still, wonderful display piece. I don't think it's something like a little child should handle in terms of like playing with it. Just because it does seem like, they could run the risk of, easily breaking parts of it. But if you're an adult collector or just a Halo fan, this thing is wildly impressive. The scale and size of it is just amazing. Definitely a centerpiece for any Halo collection. The details are amazing. You know, the size is, it's just crazy. If you're a customizer, I think there's a lot of room for customization, whether it be creating custom decals or if you're even skilled enough creating new weapon loadouts. So yeah, can't recommend this enough. Definitely one of the most impressive toys of this previous year. Okay, so let's close this video out. Once again, my name is Lou. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your continued likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So, until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. Alright, I'll talk to you soon.